Hello, it's me. Yes. Oh dear, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I was going to do them much more regularly, and I haven't. I apologise. Um, I also apologise that I'm probably covered in cat hair. Dealey has gone. I mean, he's not gone. He's gone. I think he's gone to sleep under my duvet, but he's been crawling all over me, sitting on me, covering me in cat fur today. So, what am I going to be talking about? Well, um, I'm going to be talking about the episodes that I released to the Charlotte podcast in August. No, not in August, in September of 2023. Then I'll tell you a little bit about what I think I'm releasing in October and also what I've been recording this very weekend. It's been quite busy. Oh, well, it's still going to be busy. I'm only halfway through it, but I suppose before I tell you about September, I should say that I've kind of got enough episodes to last me to the end of the year pre-recorded, but I'm still recording new ones that sort of slip in between some of those. And so certain plot lines I'm doing are getting pushed further and further, probably out of 2023 into 2024. I originally had plans for a particular cliffhanger for the end of the season, which now will be pushed into 2024. And I've got another episode in mind, which is already recorded. So yes, situations keep changing. It's a good situation to be in there because yeah, I've had lots of new collaborators and they're giving me ideas, and I like to put those episodes out sort of with a priority, really. And some of them it's okay because they don't fit in with storylines, and some of them do. But anyway, so where was I? I was going to speak about the episodes that I've released. That's not right. That might be right. That's better. Originally, I apologize. I'm going to have to look at the screen I'm reading from. So if I'm not looking directly at you, don't think I'm ignoring you. I was kind of hoping to release another episode by so we've done 8 episodes in September. You almost got 9, but I just didn't get it done. The last episode, it'll be the first episode of October. I have been away for the last 2 weeks, partly recording with best friend Harry, and also visiting parents and seeing friends in Salisbury. I was kind of pleased, really, that I even got an episode out a week during those busy weeks when I was away. But yeah, any hope that I was going to get one last episode out in September was sort of spoilt by the fact that the electricity went off at about 5 o'clock this morning, cutting off my CPAP machine, which meant I didn't really feel like sleeping without that working. And by the time it came back on again at 9 o'clock, I needed some more sleep, and yeah, so I decided not to worry. 8 episodes a month is quite enough. This is giving me deja vu, actually, because one of the episodes I recorded at my parents', except for me editing it and putting all the clips in, I have recorded the first of 2 review of the year episodes for 2023, and the first quarter of the second episode too. And so I've just got to, can't do any more really until October, November, and December have happened. But those episodes are in the can, and I guess will go out around the end of the year, the very, very end of the year, maybe even the start of 2024. Yeah, I think when I last counted, I had up to episode 705, and we're on 673 or something at the moment. But the first episode that went out in August was called "An Urgent Call Out to Alien Ick." That was episode 665. It was all to do with Yeti Uncle John had come upon some money in a rather mysterious way, and had given it to Cromitty, who was doing some research, and well, it was all about looking for Ick, really, finding where he was and how he could get him back without us all getting killed. Very dramatic. Then on the 6th of September, I released episode 666. Now, it was said to me at the time that what a good number that would have been to have kept for my Halloween episode. And yes, that's true, but then I wouldn't have been able to release any episodes for the rest of September and all the way through October, which, quite frankly, is not. No, that would be no fun for me. So in the end, episode 666, it wasn't really even a scary episode. It was called From 1971 to the Far Future with Uncle Warren. And yes, it was an episode with Uncle Warren and all about the TV of 1971, and also a little bit of mysteriousness, though, because poor old Uncle Warren had swallowed a fortune cookie, including the fortune, and he was beginning to be able to predict things. Well, we'll have to see whether what he predicted for the Shallow podcast, whether that ever came to pass. But so next up, on the 10th of September, we had episode 667, Milo and the Mystery of the Lost Love Letters. This was a sort of late postscript, I suppose, to what had occurred with between Milo and Cromitty. And when Yeti Uncle John found out something, and he was very keen to keep it secret. In fact, he had to deploy the cone of silence so he could discuss it. And it was something that involved the magpies and letters that Milo had written, which had never been delivered. But I must not say any more, really. We also received some letters from Ozymandias, our friend the talking duck. He was out in Berguria. He had previously been out in Australia doing some courier work, and yes, next step was Berguria. We weren't trying to keep him away or anything, but following this episode 668, we had Shy Yeti meets Matthias Acker, Darth Grizzly 93. That was released on September the 13th. And that was, it was our chat with Darth Grizzly, and all about things that he liked, or likes, some things like Power Rangers and all sorts of things. And we also had a little grumble from Martin. Well, we were both grumbling about things. After that, on the 15th of September, we had episode 669, DJ and Toppy's Matinee Minutia Season 5 review. And Season 5 of Matinee Minutia. We've done a show every year, at the end of each of their seasons. And we were slightly late in recording this one, but I still managed to get it out on the very day that they were releasing the first episode of Season 6. So usually I try and get out a week or two before they come back, but we couldn't make our dates work. And as it was, when we did record it, I was trying to hide the fact I had a stinking cold. But I think I mainly managed to do that because mainly it was DJ and Toppy that were sort of having to talk. So I was able to mute myself when I felt like coughing. Yeah, that's the behind the scenes world of the Charlotte podcast. Next up, we had episode 670, the Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John show. That came out on the 18th of September. And that literally was that Yeti Uncle John wanted to record his own podcast and thought it was all very easy and he could do it. And he roped in Cromitty as his co-host, and then roped in, like most of us regulars, to be guests just for the pilot show. That include Bettina and myself and Martin, who was really rather shy about it. But then our penultimate episode, which was recorded just before I went away on holiday, and I edited it whilst I was down in Swanage. Episode 671, released on the 21st of September 2023, Mr Yeti and the very last 548 live streaming weekend. I've since heard that maybe it's not the last one forever, ever, but it maybe it's the last one, like as a yearly definite sort of thing. They've done live streaming weekends for the last 15 years, and I've been part of it for the last 7. And anyway, I didn't have any. Well, I can't say that. I did have some co-hosts. I had Cromitty, who was doing a quiz. I had Yeti Uncle John, who was doing Would You Rather questions. But I didn't have Nick with me this year. I was broadcasting from where I am now, from my home, and yeah, it went pretty well. I managed to keep up with the chat room, and I managed to interrupt both Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John, and I got a sort of a surprise at the end of the episode. But anyway, the very last episode that came out a day or two ago is episode 672. The very last episode of September, I should say, not the last episode of the Charlotte podcast ever. Episode 672, released on the 27th of September, was called Uninvited Guests at the Yeti House. And it was all about, well, we had some uninvited guests at the Yeti House. We did. And we had to call in the exterminators. And when the exterminator arrived, it wasn't a Dalek, thank goodness, but it was somebody we recognised. But I can't say who. We also had some special reports from Poland, from our roving reporter out there, diary entries, and yeah, that was Darth Grizzly again. So what episodes can I expect to release in October? Well, I've just jiggled these around actually, and changed some of the order because, yeah, I partly, because of the story episodes, something I planned for the Halloween episode. Now, I don't think I could get all the episodes that need to happen before that episode out in time. So I'm pushing that one down the line. It won't be the Halloween episode now. It's not actually been recorded yet anyway. It was just a plan on a piece of notepaper. Well, on a note on my phone, I suppose I should say. Let me just see. Make sure I'm still. I see. Oh dear, that's not the right button. I see that my roving reporter from Poland, Mr. Darth Grizzly, is here in the chat room. Hello. Nice to see you here, he says. Yes. Thanks for joining the show. Yes. I meant to ask Darth Grizzly how I pronounce his name, because mostly I see his name written down rather than spoken. So I mean, I know how to pronounce Darth Grizzly, but I forgot to ask him before I started recording. But sure, he'll tell me off if I get it wrong. So the episodes that are coming up in October. Yeah, so I'm recording with Mr. Grizzly tomorrow, and we're going to be recording the new Halloween episode, which is completely different to what I was planning on releasing, but it will be fun. And today I've been recording with Toppy Smelly for some episodes that will come out in November. We did some inserts that will go into my birthday episode, my birthday diary. We also did an episode about the potential of Toppy Smelly meeting Ozymandias the talking duck, because Toppy is a fan of Ozzy. So yeah, that's what we recorded today, and those are one of those episodes won't be recorded in full until my actual birthday because it's a birthday diary, and the other one I only decided to add it to the schedule when I found out that Toppy was free. We have quite a lot of Toppy Smelly episodes coming up that have been recorded after the last few months, but because they're all story episodes, they needed to come out in certain order. And one of those episodes will probably be the season, well, it might not be the season cliffhanger, but it'll be the big episode around that time. But yeah, so October, the first episode of October is probably going to be, well, should be, it's the one I'm editing at the moment, the autumnal EP 20th anniversary special. So there'll be a poetry episode. And I'll be talking about poems from a collection that, yeah, it's a long time since I wrote that book. And we do have a special episode. We do have a special guest. Muffley on Tour is joining us. We're talking a bit about how, so we're working on song lyrics and how lyrics are really a form of poetry which don't get the sort of credit that poetry can get. It's I think it's mainly snobbery. I mean, obviously there are lots of really dire song lyrics, but there are lots of really great song lyrics, and the song lyrics are what inspired me to write poetry. Well, I suppose I would like to. I'd like to write song lyrics. Well, I have done, but after that, I'm going to release an episode. I'm not even sure how long it's going to be. It's going to be a long one. At the moment, it's entitled Paul and Harry's Late Summer Holiday, but it'll probably get a different name by the time I release it. I recorded at least 55 little pieces of that episode whilst we were in Swanage. And there are also some inserts. There are also some recordings, because I'm going to include, because I'm on holiday in that episode, I thought I've also got some material from Muffley on Tour's holiday and Nick and Annie's recent holiday. So to break up the episode, I'm going to share my guests' holiday messages as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a long one. I won't say 3 hours, but I really don't know at this stage because I haven't sort of put it all together into one file. But after that, I think will be a 2-part episode, which is about Robot Big Fatty's film premiere. But other things happen in that episode, and having this is one again from behind the scenes, where I recorded the first episode a few months ago, and then but I hadn't written any of Robot Big Fatty's lines and passed them on to Big Fatty. So I had plans for what I was going to do in part 2, but I only just recorded. I did those lines. The line that they were passed on to Big Fatty, and the recording came back, and it was only then that I recorded part 2 with quite some months between. I also did somewhere in between. I did a scene with Toppy as well for the second episode. So it'll only be when I come to edit it that I'll see if it works okay, or whether I have to re-record bits because I've contradicted myself. So I don't know. What else? After that, we may have a music episode with Martin Holmes and I, talking about the stars of music in the UK in 1977. I think that's one's going to go out then. After that, there's an episode with Yeti Uncle John where he's decided to write a film about his life, and he's a writer director, and we're his poor harassed like actors. Then there's another one with Yeti Uncle John, Yeti Uncle John and the rather bitey snail. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I mean, some of these may get reordered or like put in a different order. And then the Halloween episode is tentatively titled Shy Yeti and Darth Grizzly's Halloween Trick or Treat. But we don't record that one till tomorrow. I'll see, because that's a schedule of 8 episodes, which may or may not be achievable. Or I may be able to find 2 other episodes and do 9 or 10. I don't know. But the bare minimum I'll release is 6 episodes. But yeah, I'm not sure we want 2 episodes of Yeti Uncle John in a row. So it would be quite nice to put something in between that, or something in between the rather bitey snail and the Halloween episode. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So that's roughly what I'm expecting to go out in October. So you know what I've been recording this weekend, well, as much as I do. And yeah, I think it's probably time to say goodbye, but let's see what's going on in the chat room. Yeah. Not a lot. So I think it's time for me to go. No Dealey, so I can't get him to say anything. So yeah, right. Well, that's me for this time. I want to try and do this every month, really, but we'll see. I was going to do it when I was in Swanage, in the hotel room, but it was a little bit pokey. The hotel room, there wasn't really that great sort of table or anything to sort of put my laptop, so that never happened. Yeah, so it's happened today, and yeah, I guess it's good because it's the last night of September, and I can sort of pretty much say, yes, that's it for September. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Join me again soon, and yes, keep an eye out for the episodes, or an ear out for the episodes that are coming out in October. All right. Okay. Bye for now. Bye-bye.